Support WrestleTalk!
Give us a subscribe. My name is Mr. Davis and I'm a certified G and a bona fide stud. You can't teach that. And this right here, this is Big Cass and he's 7 foot tall and made his shock wrestling return over the weekend. And you can't teach that either. Bada boom, realist guys in the room, how are you doing? I'm doing great, thanks for asking. Of all the NXT stars you'd think would actually be a success on the main roster, Enzo and Cass had the most mainstream potential. Enzo was a walking catchphrase machine, conducting the crowd like a modern day road dog, and Big Cass was, well, he was big, and Vince McMahon loves big guys. Some of his best friends are big. But it wasn't just WWE's bad booking they were up against. Enzo and Cass reportedly got themselves significant backstage heat from the rest of the locker room for their behind-the-scenes outlandish behavior. Amore was released in January 2018, and Cass, in the middle of a main event push, was let go just 5 months later, with Sports Illustrated citing him disobeying direct orders from McMahon in a segment where he beat up a Daniel Bryan impersonating little person too much, sports entertainment, and public intoxication on a WWE tour. Cass hit the independent scene shortly after under the name Big Cass, then Big C, then Big Cass with the S's as dollar signs, and then Cass XL, running through more names than the really good male friends on Megan's phone. Not Tommy, Megan! Not Tommy! But his alleged issues followed him out WWE, with PW Insider reporting Cass had a real-life fight with now AEW star Joey Janela at a WrestlePro show in September 2019. Following that, Cass took an extended break from wrestling to focus on his depression and anxiety. But now, almost a year and a half after his last wrestling appearance, he returned at Saturday's Lariato Pro Wrestling show looking in the best shape of his life. Cass would later tweet about his return. After a long journey filled with an enormous amount of self-reflection, I now start my journey towards redemption. Thank you, Doc Gallows, for the opportunity, and thank you to everyone for continuing to believe in me. Folded hands praying emoji. Hashtag straight out of step 12. And it wasn't just Cass who was at that show. His return spot was to save his former WWE tag team partner, Enzo Amore, who later followed up with, "You can't," and a picture of the two. But what does that mean in the grander scheme of pro wrestling right now? Lariato Pro Wrestling is affiliated with Impact, streaming on their website and sponsoring the ring aprons at the event. The promotion has a lot of Impact talent on too, with Eric Young being the Lariato champion and the Good Brothers holding the tag belts. Additionally, Cass thanks Gallows specifically in his tweet, and Doc appears to have a lot of backstage sway in Impact and, to an extent, AEW too with their Super Elite crossover. It all makes sense now! We're building to the rematch of Big Cass versus Big Show with Enzo in a shark cage. But in AEW this time. It's a license to print money, Tony! Do you want to see Big Cass and Enzo Amore get another wrestling chance? Let me know in the comments down below, where I'll be replying to people from out of nowhere incorrectly spelling the word soft. But they aren't the only rumours of big wrestling returns. Following Friday's episode of SmackDown, Daniel Bryan appeared on Talking Smack to make the following challenge to Paul Heyman. "I have a message for you to give to Roman Reigns. I am no longer putting myself on the back burner. I am no longer putting other people first. I'm going to take what's mine, and that's the reign that I've had before CM Punk, and that's the best damn wrestler in the world." CM Punk WWE return confirmed! Or maybe not. It could go either way, I don't know. Bryan is undoubtedly leaning into Heyman's history with Punk, whose partnership created a 434-day WWE Championship reign to build a Fastlane match with Reigns. But Bryan's use of the present tense is interesting. He doesn't describe Punk as was the best damn wrestler in the world, but that's the best damn wrestler in the world. While it's been reported as recently as last year that McMahon never wants to work with Punk again, that was before a pandemic. And Punk has repeatedly said he'd return to wrestling for either a big bag of money or if the creative is really great and well thought out. So a big bag of money if it's WWE then. And WWE is reportedly planning on bringing back multiple legends for WrestleMania 37 to pass the torch onto the next generation. But I know what you're thinking, and I agree. At least have fans properly back in attendance before you bring back CM Punk. You wouldn't want him to waste one of the last great wrestling returns just having him walk onto a soundstage. God damn it, WWE. Change the culture, confirmed. But Punk's part of the old generation, you might say. I want young, new, up-and-coming, fresh talent. Well, WWE hears you and says, here's Mark Henry. Speaking on Busted Open Radio, Henry has revealed he's much healthier down at 325 pounds and now walking on 2 feet. I'm lighter and trimmer than I've ever been, and I'm planning on having a match sometime in the next 6 months. I just want to have one more match, and if Randy is the guy, so be it. He went on to say that he's got to wrestle in this decade, as Big Show has wrestled in 4 and I've wrestled in 3. I can't let him have that over me. Mark Henry to AEW confirmed cough. Henry has potentially already started building this, with Autumn bullying him backstage at January's Legends Night special of Raw, which Goldberg blamed on Drew McIntyre. But Mark Henry's way too new. I want a wrestler who made their name in the 70s and 80s. Well, actually, that's where WWE draws the line. We finally found it, everyone. Someone was too old to make a return. After Dave Meltzer reported that Ric Flair was asking WWE to use him on TV more, which is what led to the now dropped Lacey Evans storyline, Flair himself has revealed to Busted Open Radio he wanted to go one further and get back in the ring. I did have some ideas. My problem was they won't let me get in the ring because it's so hard to get me cleared because of my health issues, even though I have been cleared by my doctors. Flair said he pitched a master plan to WWE that would see him work out with Evans and train her in his style. But you've already got a Charlotte Flair. But wisely, WWE didn't want the 72-year-old Rick, who has a number of health issues, start getting physical again. No, don't tell Cody! Someone stop him before! Ric Flair to AEW confirmed. He will recreate WCW, he'd do it! Funnily enough, it turns out both Rick and Charlotte didn't like the Lacey Evans storyline just as much as we all didn't, with Rick admitting it caught us off guard. It was presented to me, I think it was just a trial run and nobody really understood for sure exactly what was going to go. I would be remiss if I thought Charlotte was crazy about it. Wrestlers and talent being left in the dark about their storyline plans now doesn't just appear to be a case of WWE changing their minds all the time, it's reportedly a direct edict from the top of the company to prevent leaks. According to Ringside News, WWE producer John Laurinaitis recently sent a memo to the rest of the backstage team imploring them not to share information with talent, which is kind of a key role of a producer. This has created a complete state of confusion behind the scenes. This apparently goes back on something Vince McMahon has always wanted in the past: feedback from the talent. Feedback, presumably, that he can then completely ignore. WrestlingNews.co then corroborated the report, with their source telling them Vince was upset when word got out that the main event for WrestleMania would be Edge and Roman. And there's also unhappiness that the plans for Miz having a short title reign were also leaked. This has created a situation where a lot of the talent have no idea what they're working towards for the biggest show of the year. Meanwhile, in Japan, last night saw Show 3, H-Nissan, Show San of AEW's Women's Eliminator tournament, which saw Thunder Rosa defeat Rio to advance to the US stage of the finals, while she'll take on Nyla Rose on YouTube tonight, while Rio Mizunami beat Yuka Sakazaki in the Japanese bracket to fight the US winner on Wednesday's Dynamite. The show last night also featured a 6-woman tag of AEW champion Shida, Mei Suruga, and Rin Kadokura beating Ami Sakura, Maki Ito, and Veni, which Big Brian Cage called the best multi-women's match I've seen, asking Tony Khan to sign everyone involved. Maki Ito, who won the hearts of everyone meanwhile, has said her time in AEW for now is over, but it's still her dream to end up there. Until the day we meet again, motherfuckers. If only the rest of the world got to see it. In the latest misstep with their women's division, international viewers found they couldn't watch last night's stream on Bleacher Report Live. Khan tweeted, "I'm sorry people had issues with Bleacher Report's international stream. I was promised multiple times by our partner that the Eliminator matches would stream in real time for free for all international fans. Since that's not the case, I've just put the matches up for free on YouTube." It's great to see a wrestling promoter apologize and make amends so quickly, but it's just further fuel to criticize AEW's treatment of their women's division and not putting their US matches on TNT. Remember, this channel WrestleTalk is now exclusively the WrestleTalk News, to make it nice and neat for all your subscription feeds. For the WrestleTalk podcasts with me and Luke, go over to the WrestleTalk podcast channel. And for all things Adam Blompier, like his most recent list, the 25 worst wrestling catchphrases ever, subscribe to Parts From Known using the link in the video description below, where you can also watch the full latest list. Here's a teaser.
If you smell, gimme a hell yeah. It's true, it's damn true. Yes. Excuse me. Can you dig it, sucker? Suck it. Rest in peace. Ooh, yeah. Let me tell you something, brother. Jam that jam. And that's the bottom line, and almost everything that Chris Jericho's ever said. Even in today's more serious wrestling with more serious boys and their more serious pants, catchphrases are a big deal for wrestling, because catchphrases means merch, merch means money, and money means more fuel being thrown into the big machine that keeps Vince alive. We all have our favorite wrestling catchphrases, but that's not as fun as talking about the worst, and oh boy, there's a bunch of those. Here are the 25 worst wrestling catchphrases ever. 25, Lince Dorado. Of all the members of Lucha House Party, Lince Dorado is the best on the mic, but please can he stop saying things are lucha lit? It sounds like a supply teacher leading an assembly on Mexican history. We get it, WWE writers, you know what a phone is, but you might as well just have Lince say flame emoji and it'll be just as cool.
Watch 24 somehow worse wrestling catchphrases by clicking the video on the right. And remember to subscribe to Parts Unknown for weekly wrestling lists. And WWE has blocked Chris Jericho. Find out about the behind the scenes heat by clicking the video below that. I've been Mr. Davis. Jam that jam.